Welcome, faithful viewer, brethren, sistren, and otheren. Welcome again to No Theoretical Bias Presents. We're on episode 6 currently, session 6 of The Fortress of Bone Adventures, starring, in no particular order, Randveer the Covenant, one who makes deals with spirits for spells, Albrecht the Hammer. If all you are is a hammer, everyone starts to look like a nail. Luther Zeal the Crucible, fire mage of an as yet unnamed fire spirit, not a very nice entity living in a lantern, and Brother Xander, shield. Brother Xander, the sword and shield of the downtrodden and the not so mighty. All right, when last we met, our doughty adventurers had bopped off to get some investigation done on the mysterious Dominion. The Dominion apparently can field a lot of armed and armored troops. They also apparently are holding slaves. Not so good. Somewhere to the northeast of Brother Xander's temple. So I'm sorry, northwest of Brother Xander's temple. So they go off on a little recon mission. Found themselves on the outskirts of the Necropolis. Very, very dangerous. This at one point was a huge bustling city in the before times. Since the gods' fall and since all the magic drained out of the world, it's just been a place of death and mayhem. People go in, sometimes come back with treasures, some come back with missing limbs, and sometimes don't come back at all. So they were pointed at a group called the Bug Folk, probably because they wear armor made out of chitin taken off of giant bugs. That was a little concerning. Spoke to some of the bug folk, made peaceful connections. In fact, one of them, their translator, was a former enslaved of the Dominion, and he does not have anything nice to say about them. Thorn. They talked briefly with the bug people call themselves the Pili. Boakula, the chief, said, "Hey, come on back if you ever want to." Sarao, the trader for the Pili, there was potentially some interest in doing some trade with the temple for things like metal, weapons, and gear and tools and whatnot in exchange for some of these bug parts armor. So they also found out that the local power blocks include the giant bugs, who are probably intelligent, off to the west, the ghouls to the southwest in the city. Very, very, very bad news. If they catch you, we hope they just eat you quickly. And then immediately to the south, a group of the Ratkin. They're a beast folk group with strong rat-like characteristics. The Pili said they're not the easiest people in the world to deal with, but they will trade on occasion. Let's see. Brother Xander, you would have remembered this in the conversation. It came up that the rat folk, they're really, really good at intelligence. They're really, really good spies, because they're fairly professionally paranoid, and if you know when bad things are going to happen, you can avoid well in advance. You can avoid them. So there's that. So the party went back home, spoke to the council. The mothers and fathers, Mother Euclea, Mother Calipho, Father Harpaxius, Father Albanus, and of course Grandmother Cordia. They all kicked it around a little bit and said, yeah, we need to find out more about these Dominion folk, where they're coming from, what they're doing, possible agendas, kind of a thing, but be careful. Spoke briefly with Trader Carla, picked up some food, and Tanula the Crafter. Tanula was excited because he brought back some samples of that chitin armor, and he's like, yeah, we could do something with this. It's lightweight, it's sturdy, it's obviously been treated with something like a lacquer so that it doesn't rot or something. Yeah. We could make some good armor out of this. So, in light of that, you were saddled. You were gifted the presence of Laris. Is it Laris? Yeah. Your
Liam?
Isn't that Liam?
Liam.
Sorry, I keep saying Laris. Liam. Liam, for whatever reason, really likes Luther. Just thinks Luther is a righteous dude. and we'll talk his ear off about anything. Brother Liam is sort of a researcher and a scribe, and he was sent along to see if there was anything of value that the Pilly had picked up, since they said they collected some books. All right, so when we left this last time, you had all reconvened with the Pilly, with the bug folk, and Brother Liam was diving into these piles of old, dusty books and scrolls with just happier than a pig in poop. And the small cart that you were given and the food supplies there were able to get you there. There, you got a happy. If you run out of all food, etc., etc., there's enough in the cart when they load it up to get everybody home, so you don't have to worry about that. All of your supplies and materials for here are yours to use. So, what do you do?
Okay, so we currently are in the fortress piece, right? Or in the fort.
Last I checked, you were in the with the pilly out in the edges of the necropolis. Um, Again, Brother Liam is going through all the scrolls and stuff, looking for. The bug folk will take some, jingle off your hands for that, but they don't really know what they're looking at. Um, so you're currently with the bug folk trying to figure out. Oh, the other piece of information you got, there is a Dominion outpost. Apparently, the Dominion saw some value in ancient artifacts before the fall, magic items, recipes, libraries, whatever, something out here in the necropolis has got their attention to the point where they had a. Oh, that's right. That's right. You did find that. My terrible bad. Yes, you had traveled to the outposts, which apparently had been abandoned. Not good. Um, and so here you are in the outpost. Um, you've made it about this far. You've gone through the barracks here. Um, you found, what was this? This was some sort of armory. And I think that's all the farther you've made it into the space. Was there anything else um, that you remembered from that?
No, I think that's about where we left.
That's what I figured. Okay, so um, sorry to catch everybody else up. They were told that there was a uh, Dominion outpost. They went to investigate that. It had been abandoned and booby trapped. They've already run into a few of the nasty surprises that they left. Um, you've got oh, okay. So yeah, last thing that happened, you were in the armory. It's pretty picked bare. The only exception was a small cask of all metal crossbow quarrels with leather fletchings, um, apparently overlooked in a corner someplace. So what do you do?
What does anybody have a plan? I think Albrecht is looking to bash some bugs if he can, right?
Bash some bugs,
Well,
gotcha.
eventually, but I think what an important thing to do now is probably to keep moving forward and probably look for. I would almost like say like the main quarters within this outpost.
Hmm.
Like at least the term I can think of is like the main war room for this location.
Okay, okay. So I've marked the locations that you've already been into. There is another corridor um, off to the east, northeast. And again, all of these are half buried, like bunker style um, revetments. They've got firing positions for like crossbows and stuff that would cover the whole area. If you both, well, both Albrecht and Xander said or thought to yourselves at some point, if you had a double handful of motivated and well-led troops, you could hold this off from a lot of different attackers at once. It would be a very difficult position to overrun if it was ably defended. So the fact that it's abandoned kind of makes you think. All right, so Albrecht, you're looking for um, some kind of war room, officer space, general's quarters, that sort of thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's either back the way you came or to the slightly northeast. What do you do?
I think probably towards the northeast.
Northeast. Awesome. Okay, so you come into this area. This one actually has got the doors are all open. There are fairly significant storage in here, but the doors have all been left open. This is probably um, sort of a last one, like a last ditch bunker. Um, it's set up so that you can't come directly into the space. You've got to go around to the left or the right. So there's firing positions that can shoot all the way down the hall there. So and it's the same on the other side and the bottom. So this is a doubly defensive position. Um, Again, if you were attacked and somebody breached the perimeter, everybody would retreat here and be able to sally out in a couple of different directions. But yeah, it's so more of a murder hole than anything else. It's again designed to let your defenders have a place to uh, hunker down and take out anybody who's trying to come in. Not much else here. There was some space by the space and the smell. There were probably like dried food supplies in here for a long time. From the damp spots, there were probably um, water stores, things like that. But pretty much everything has been picked clean here. What do you do?
Rider forward, guys.
What?
I
You
feel
want
like
to
we
go
go. Let's go forward.
I
toward the
agree.
I
toward the
agree.
other
Yeah.
large space?
I
Yeah.
mean, sure.
Okay, okay. So, then from there, looks like the next space was probably officers' quarters. Um, it's there's some dividing walls. You're starting to pick up a little bit on maybe the structure of these of how these folks work, um, based on the fact that the space is divided um, into four smaller spaces, basically, each with bunk, footlocker, a tiny little table, and stool. You think, all right, so if you had four like lieutenants type things, or you know, four top sergeants running the troops. So this was obviously quarters for planners, doers, thinkers, that sort of thing. Again, pretty well picked over. The bunks um, were built into the straight walls and they folded down. Um, and so very efficient use of space. Um, and the fact that everything was like up and it's you're getting an odd feeling, Albrecht. Um, like this is a little too easy, a little too open and available. Um, because all the bunks are up and like loop the little rope loop is down in place holding the bunk in place. Like somebody's ready to come back at any moment. But then you've got like stuff lying around and you're like, this isn't seeming you're a little on edge. I'll just tell you that. You're a little on edge. Something doesn't seem right. There's again places for things like the desks had got places for like ink and writing implements all gone. They had spaces to hold obviously like notebooks and folders and things all gone. So somebody did a um very thorough retreat out of here apparently. So what do you do?
Okay. Uh, I think probably one of the at least while in here,
Hmm.
I just wanted to take a look around. Well, specifically use up the observe action.
Okay, what are you looking for in specific?
Um,
What here is?
I think something between mostly between two of what's either what here is useful slash informational or what was the last significant event.
Oh, all right. Last significant event, which is also informational. It seems pretty obvious from like blood stains, and especially when you take a look out some of the bunker positions. There was an attack on this position, probably from giant bugs. If you had to guess without seeing the rest of the facility yet, if you had to guess, you'd think it was driven off successfully, or at least partially successfully. But it feels like whoever was in charge here was like, we're going to need, we're not going to be able to do this with what we got. So we're going to do a strategic withdrawal. Um, and just everybody grabbed everything that wasn't nailed down and did the bug out boogie in good order. That's the important part. A retreat is only a retreat if it's in good order. Otherwise, it's a rout. So a military unit packed up their things and left with a few nasty surprises for anybody who sneaks in here. All right, where to from there, folks?
Do we
I
just
mean, I guess the only way forward is to go forward.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's almost philosophical. The way is the way. All right, so into the other large bunker area. This one, um, oh, this one was pretty much set up as stables. The big double doors make a lot of sense there to get horses, camels, riding goats, giant war boars. Those desert horses, those are pretty handy. Yeah, so this one's pretty much uh, stables. Again, Xander and Albrecht, you both notice somebody took the time to sweep this place out before they left. They didn't leave, a nasty, mucked up stable area for next time. It, yeah, it's they're okay. If nothing else cements it, they're coming back. They are planning on coming back, probably in a larger force. You just don't know when. All right. Any further investigation of the stable areas?
Can I do one?
Sure. Go ahead and give me an observe, please. Okay. Pick one of those questions.
What here is not what it appears to be?
What here is not what it appears to be? Oh, um, Well, there are like cabinets built into the walls, um, or attached to the walls, and it's things like there's hooks on the walls for like tack and harness and places to put saddles and whatnot. And there is actually a like a bit and bridle type thing for a horse or a desert horse. It's hanging up there, and it actually looks really nice. Like it's got some silvery metal on it that makes it look, some curly Q, and you're admiring it a little bit. Um, but maybe some of Albrecht and Xander's paranoia has rubbed off. That's when you notice a thread. There's a thread. They didn't pick out the color really well. It's too dark. There's a thread attached to the top of this bridle on the hook, and there's a shelf above um, the the hanging spot. The thread comes up, and it's apparently attached to something up on that shelf. Just it's up out of everybody's sight line. It's in reach, but it's above your point of view. What do you do?
So I'm gonna definitely point that out.
Okay.
Um, however, I don't think Ranveer's tall enough to get that.
No, probably not.
Well, seeing as this is probably obviously trapped, I think the person who has the best chance of doing anything is probably Brother Xander, as he is the only
Yeah.
one with the shield.
Hmm.
All right.
Okay. So you're presented with something that might be a trap. Um, Ranveer thinks it's the kind of thing, if you took this off, it's going to pull something down. What do you do?
All right. There's I feel like there's two common ways to disable a trap. One of them is to like go through and be very meticulous. Just activate it.
Mhm.
And as much as I really want to activate it, I really do want to like investigate what's gonna happen. So I should be able to like put my shield up in time or move out of the way. So
Okay. Um, how do you investigate further on that?
so it's on top of the shelf area.
Apparently, there's something on top. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um. All right. Maybe I won't be able to. But how much, Ranveer? How much do you weigh?
I called it. Um,
Yeah.
very light.
Okay.
I'll give
Okay.
you that.
Take your armor or whatever. Like, cause you didn't do the bug thing, right? Like, it didn't work out too well for
Yeah.
you. Okay. Whatever you have to quickly take off, go ahead and take that off. And I'm just gonna like put you on my shoulders
Hmm.
and see if you can look into like what it is.
What's your bonus to your hard stat?
Me?
One.
Okay. Yeah.
I bet if I do it,
What's yours?
I have two.
Oh, okay. Between the two of you, you can kind of just, you don't even have to take anything off. You just kind of lift him up. Okay. So, Ranveer, you're looking at this. On the back of the shelf, there's looks like a clay pot of all things. It's a fat bodied clay pot. It tapers a little bit in the middle. So it looks like a really badly made hourglass out of clay, tightly stoppered and waxed, and this thread is tied around it. Um, so again, you play it out in your head. Okay, I pick this thing up, this thing falls off the side. And something happens. So, but it doesn't yeah, it's a clay pot. It's an odd shaped clay pot. What do you do?
Wouldn't my witch sight be going off of this?
Oh, which site lets you see things that are invisible or
Oh, okay.
otherwise? Okay. Yeah, there does not appear to be a magical there's no active magic going on that.
Right. So if we're pulling it off, it's meant to break
Right.
on the ground. That
Which means
means there's probably something in there.
like a grenade, like the front door, possibly.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to take the base down? Like
Yeah.
carefully?
Let's put him down, and then we'll take the base down.
Okay. Yeah, it's not. It's you take a good long time doing it. So you're the proud possessor of this fairly hefty pottery jug vase. Okay, as you're getting it down, it sloshes slightly. Okay, so you get a sense of fluid in there. Who's going to be following up on the investigation on this?
This, okay. Since I'm holding it, I guess I'll look at it. Um,
What's your sharp?
not good. My sharp is just 0.
Okay. Um, yeah, just give me a sharp roll. Okay, that was enough. Basically, just holding it, um, it's sloshing. It feels like two different things, though. Okay,
Mm,
because if I take my cup here and I cap it and I slosh it around, it's going slosh, 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 and you can feel that. This feels like two separate uh
mm,
things in there. So again, if you had to guess, you go, okay, you pull this off, it breaks. There's two things in there that are probably meh, but if they combine, and that could be anything. That could be like an alchemist's fire kind of a thing. If it would be in a space this size, poison gas would be a real nasty one. So yeah, but yeah, you think just based from the where the cork is put in and waxed, this is not a very thick walled vessel. This it was like Ranver said, it was designed to get pulled off, broke, and something bad happens to the person who pulled it off. Also, Ranver, you have the bridle now. Um, the metal turns out to be real cheap. It was like brightly polished, bronze or something. It was
So like
again,
faith.
yeah, it was there to catch your. It was yeah, costume jewelry type of thing, and the back of it's all rotted and corroded. So yeah, this was a trap. Tee hee. All right.
Okay, I vote we keep this very possible grenade and maybe use it against somebody.
Okay.
how big is the pot? Is it like, could you fill it with
Um,
one hand?
if you held it in the middle, it's basically two fist size jugs stuck together or made together. So if you held it in the middle, yeah, it'd be about as wieldy as like a 64-ounce cup, you know,
Okay.
fairly heavy. The only thing is you don't want to fall down a flight of stairs when this thing is on you because you don't know what it does. Anyway,
Yeah.
so tee. All right, so you're a proud possessor of a grenade jug question mark. I'm going to put that here.
Should
Grenade
Okay,
jug.
guys, I have an idea.
Question.
What if we laid, because we don't like these people, right? It's pretty obvious we don't like these people. What if we laid this, because they know it's supposed to be here. They know that the trap is supposed to be here. What if we put it somewhere else that they weren't expecting, so that if
Mm-hmm.
they come back, it could go off. Now they'll know that someone was here, but that'll like mess with them a little bit. Or we can just put it outside and do nothing.
But here's also a new question: how many more are around here?
That's true.
Because this
It's
could
true.
also be possibly the same thing that killed the two bugs by the front door of the
Yeah.
barracks.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you guys say is like the least valuable room for us to go back through?
If we have to go through a room to get to another room, they're all valuable in that way.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking the kill box room at the top. We don't super need it, and if we placed a trap there, it might be a little beneficial since the two entrances are on the sides.
Oh,
Um,
you do notice that the double doors there are barred from the inside.
yeah. Okay.
Just,
Uh,
just as an FYI.
let's. Do we want to put this jug down here and then go like continue through the rest of the rooms and then come back to it later if we need it?
Sure.
Sure.
Because I really
Okay,
don't want to mess with this thing.
gotcha. Okay, so continuing your perambulations around the outside, I'm assuming. The next one, real basic. It was a storage area. It was all shelving and more shelving and freestanding shelves and hanging hooks across the top and stuff across the walls. Um, Probably, um, again, some food storage and stuff. Um, but yeah, this was just, you can almost, the soldier in you is like, it smells like blankets over here. Gosh, and there's a soap and this and that. But yeah, this place has been like bare bones picked clean. And you can like see across the room all the empty shelves. If you want to spend a few minutes looking around, nobody finds anything of note. Next.
Let's go for the next one.
Beautiful. All right, this one's pretty obvious. Latrines. This was a latrine. Now, um, it's fairly well designed, actually. Um, you've been in places that weren't as well ventilated or with concerns for hygiene. So again, these people seem to know what they're doing. So basically, there's the door in from the bunker there, and it's split in two. The side closest to you is all the privy holes. However, I don't know how much investigation you want to do, but basically, they've got like buckets of lye, um, and like like basins and pitchers. A couple of pitchers are still there, full of vinegar. Um, So basically, you do your business, you scoop some lye into the hole to see if you can kill some of the smell and some of the nastiness down in there. It probably has a drain outside someplace, and again, you have no idea how deeply they dug the privies, but half of them don't even show any signs of use. There's like the stuff. There's the ones on the east and the ones on the south. The south side ones have not even been used. That you think. Um, and again, the military-minded among you said, "Oh, okay. So if we're not under any immediate threat, we're like the bears. We go poop in the woods. But if we had to hunker down, we've got a place to keep our poop away from everything else." So that was it. The other half of the room is like cleansing areas. Um, Again, washing your hands with a weak lye solution, followed by boiled water. Will keep the illnesses away. So again, somebody running a pretty tight ship here, who knows a little bit about how to keep soldiers clean and healthy out in the field. Um, Unless you want to investigate, and please God don't. I'll swear to God, please don't investigate the laboratories. All right, there's nothing here that you want, and I just don't want to have to role play that. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so last but not least, you bump into the mess hall. It's also divided. There's a small uh, cooking preparation area. There's a couple of uh, tables that they didn't take with them, tables, um, stools, and benches and whatnot. Um, Again, based on the barracks, if you had a full house in here, if this place was loaded for bear, you'd probably be eating in shifts anyway. There's a tiny little kitchen area that's very, very efficient looking. Um, you can't figure out, couldn't figure out some of the cooking area until you realize half of it is set up with like alcohol uh, burners. There's a big thing on the wall that's still got some alcohol in it. It comes down to basically these Bunsen burners. You light those, and you've got the little, your soups over here, your, souffle, whatever is over there. Which really, really efficient use of space again, and not something that you'd seen before. Hmm. Speaks of a certain level of innovation, perhaps. You don't know. And all right, so that gets you through the place here. Um, any interest? Do you need to go revisit any of the rooms? Do you need me to remind you of any places here? What
Does Luther?
I think probably
Luther,
what.
are you... Oh, go ahead.
Let's see. I think at least or at least the most important to me, I feel like at least get the grenade from the stable room.
okay. Okay, so you've got it. Who's carrying it, by the way?
I will gladly
me.
carry it.
Yeah.
Okay. So write that down that you've got the grenade jug, Albrecht. All right. So what do you do? Oops.
Luther, are you wanting to do anything?
Not really. I mean, there's nothing really interesting in here, if I'm being completely honest.
What are you doing that the dog is following us? I feel like
I'm with the dog. Like we're bonding. We're having a great time.
Mhm.
He suggests that we go into the what was it called? The holes in the floor in that last place. It didn't smell too great. He says he wants to go in there.
uh maybe not. Guys, do we? I mean, there's not much here, and they're coming back. I don't really think we can take like well-trained people who are able to set this whole thing up pretty relatively quickly. Um, maybe
But
we
do
just
we
kind
know
of
when they're
set the
coming
trap.
back?
Yeah, that's well. It appears like it's kind of soon if they left and are wanting to. It might
Um,
be
Hard to say.
hard to say. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Um, yeah, when this was a controlled shutdown, this was we're taking everything we can use, but we're not like blowing the place up or, painting the floor with contact explosives or anything like that. The vibe is that um, somebody will eventually be coming back. And again, it's a useful position.
Maybe we tell the you said the Piliad.
Pilly, yep.
Maybe we tell the Pili about this location. They might be able to set up something here. I mean, I know there's not too many of them, but
Right.
what do you guys think?
I mean, if they're coming back and we tell them about it, would we kind of just be like setting them up for being attacked?
That's true, but if we tell them, if we tell the Pili that they're coming back, the Pili might be able to be like, oh, well, we can prepare and do all this other stuff, or they may just want to stay away. I don't know. I just feel like it would be better if we gave the Pili information, and then
Oh yeah,
perhaps
definitely the
just started,
information.
yeah, and then from there, go and try to explore maybe more of the Necropolis.
Can
I
somebody give me a
say,
Go
oh
ahead.
sorry,
Can
I'd
somebody give me a D20?
D20. I'll do that. Let's see here. Dice. D20.
Beautiful. Okay. So you were discussing. Go right ahead.
Uh-oh.
I say we get to Necropolis as fast as possible. I mean, Necropolis is cool. It's where all the
Well,
cool kids go,
see, that's where you're at now, actually.
Yeah.
but like deeper. into it. Crazy
Okay.
to me.
Where would you suggest that we go? Farther from the Pili, or closer but deeper into the Necropolis with the Pili?
I mean, I just want to go in it more. I don't have no plan. I want to go in it.
How about the route that allows an escape? Just
Okay,
in
so
case.
like go maybe to the west, but don't try to like stay on the edge of the bug territory. More of like be in the bug territory.
Ooh.
I mean, they're bugs. They're gross. We could probably fight off bugs.
Okay, if but hear me out. If the fort of like well-armed soldiers could like had to retreat so they could bring more people or be stronger, I don't know if the four of us, correction, five of us, could really handle it.
Well, do you know we're also disguised as
Well,
bugs as
you and
well.
I are
Only some of us.
disguised. Those two are not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's okay. Let's just go east.
Back toward to the Pili.
Yeah, but this time instead of taking like skirting on the outside of the bug territory, we'll just
Mm-hmm.
go straight to the Pili and through some
Okay.
bug territory. How does that sound, Luther? I feel like it's risk, but it's kind of minimal compared to going just straight
I'm a
south.
fan. I'm supportive of this decision.
Okay. Um. So the city. I don't know that any of you know anything about the city beforehand. The thing that's obvious to all of you is that it was this vast, sprawling expanse of habitation. And so you're passing and sneaking through shops and living quarters and, town squares. Um, and here's a little number for you. Um, in the real world, in the year 1638, what was the population of Moscow, Russia? Anybody know?
My guess would be low. Um,
At least three.
Three what?
3,000 is what
Three
I
At
think.
thousand.
least three.
3,000 people. They estimate it was closer to 200,000 people
Oh
in
my
Moscow. Yeah,
gosh.
yeah, yeah, 200,000 people. Um, yeah, big city. So this was probably on par with that. You hear some strange noises. There's a buzzing hum, um, like a whirring noise uh, that passes south of you. It's oh, and it goes from west to east. You don't see what it's. The sound seems to come from everywhere and nowhere, and it might be echoing off of buildings or the ground or something. You see that, you hear that. I don't know what caused it. And then one of you finds something unexpectedly. Do any of you have like danger magnet or any of the negative quirks or twists? I don't think you do. Everybody give me a 2d6, please. You're trying to roll high.
Ooh.
Okay, so that would be Albrecht. You actually step in something, and the smell that rises up is truly incredibly vile.
Mm.
And it's obviously like some sort of dung, but it's, I mean, you gag a little bit stepping back, and you are going to want to get that off your boots ASAP, because yeah, it's that smell is gonna linger. So, um, what do you do?
What do we do?
I just want to give a quick question.
Hmm.
Would that count as any failure, or is that just pure humiliation on Albrecht's side?
It wasn't a fail. Okay, the problem was this. This had been buried. Somebody had made a sincere attempt to make this hide this poop. Okay, so it had been buried under dirt and rocks and stuff, and the only reason you found it is that you stepped and slid, and it uncovered it. So um, it's again really, really, truly vile. Um,
Uh,
so what do you do?
Albrecht, you might want to clean that shoe off a little bit. I don't know. Can you like rub it off over here?
Well, depends. Unless there's water around, I have no idea what I'm going to rub it up against.
Yeah, there's no water.
Get rid of the
Um,
boot.
the dog smells it and retches in one of
Oh,
those.
oh.
Poor baby.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have water as a ration, but
Just
Yeah.
get rid
Just
of the
like
boot. Just get rid of the boot.
You could use a water ration to take care of that if you wanted to.
Albrecht, I feel
I
like
feel like I might as well.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, you clean
smart
it off
choice.
pretty thoroughly. Um, at this point, you don't even have any idea what would have made something like that. It's pretty gross. So what do you do?
Keep going. Yeah, let's.
I think that's the only thing we can do.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, all right. So you headed back into Pilly territory. Um, you make it back. You do hear that sound again, that whirring sound. It's coming this time from east to west. And again, you think it's south of you, but it's oh, oh. Again, you might have caught a glimpse of something anyway in the distance, but it's gone now. All right. So you get back to the place where you normally run into the pilly. Um, it's deserted. What do you do?
could I like just investigate, see if there was signs of struggle?
Oh, okay. Let's see. Looking for signs of struggle. That would probably be a observe roll. So go ahead and take a look for that. Be Utimus. That would be a 6. Mark experience. Yeah, you're unless somebody wants to pop or drop Ranveer assist.
I'm gonna proper drop.
Okay, go ahead and prop them. Do, 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 do,
Roll
do,
plus
do, do.
blood.
Yep.
Ranveer.
Okay, beautiful. So, Ranveer, you get a +1 to that, so that is a successful roll. So do not mark experience, and you may ask one of those questions.
What is the last significant event that happened here.
Okay. As near as you can tell, the Pilly were hanging out here. This is one of their. You don't know that it's their main place to hole up and crash, like village centers kind of a thing. They're semi-nomadic in a small range. But this is the last place. This is the place that you've run into them twice or three times before. The last significant event was looked like everybody grabbed everything and bugged out, just left fairly quickly. Again, they're nomads who don't have much, so they grabbed everything and left.
Is there any indication in like the direction they went, or was it just like a mad flight?
You're not really much of a tracker. Do you have anything that might give you an indicator of that? Any of your skills or spells or whatnot that might let you, excuse me, might let you figure that one out?
I have guidance.
Oh, okay. Guidance will work. Go ahead and give me a roll for guidance, please. Cast a spell.
Whoops.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Okay. And again, since it's a hex, you get a +1 to that, so that's a complete success. Yeah. The guidance says this mystical symbol appears and gestures to the northeast, away from the city center.
So I relay that.
Okay. So
Do they
apparently, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, apparently the Pilly grabbed their stuff and took off to the northeast.
Okay. Does it? Okay. Is there a cart around where Liam or the trader may have just like? Did they go with the Pilly?
Oh, okay. Actually, yeah. Now that you start looking that direction, they didn't have a good chance to cover their tracks that way. You do see a few signs that a bunch of folks grabbed the handles, so to speak, of the cart and took off with it. Based on some of the the marks on the wheels and the footprints in the dirt, they were not moving slowly. It wasn't like a mad run, but it was a definitely, Marines, we are leaving kind of a thing. But yeah, no sign of Brother Liam, and the cart is also gone.
No, we lost Liam. Ah, damn.
Okay. This is more than just a little bad. Um. Okay. Do we go after them, guys? I feel like we have to go after them here.
We kind of have to. They have the supplies we need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through
Yeah.
that.
Let's go
Liam,
after them.
Liam can fend for himself. You got
Okay.
it.
No, we're going
Okay.
after him.
Okay, so anybody who wants to make, again, observe is based on cool. If anybody wants to make an observe roll, one of you can. If
I got it.
Just 1 second. If anybody wants to assist them in making the cool roll, you can as well. So go ahead and give it to us there, Luther. Oh, okay, yeah, 14. Okay, so no problem. It's not like quite like following a map, but Luther, you just apparently seem to know what to look for. Ah, there's a scuff mark in the dirt there where they turned, and oh, they stopped briefly here. It reminds me of the old joke. The cowboy's out in the old west, and he sees this old scout he knows. This old scout, just master of the wilderness, and he's lying on the ground with his head pressed to it. He says, 3 wagons, 12 men, 3 women, 4 children, 6 extra horses, and a dog. And the cowboy's like, "Oh my gosh, you can hear all that?" And he says, "No, they ran over me about a half an hour ago." So, following the tracks, teehee, you you think they were headed for some sort of hideout, which you find access to, so to speak. Um, it was it was a bridge over a waterway, aqueduct, canal, river, whatever. It was reinforced, completely dry now, of course. And there was a bridge over it. On the far side, on the outside edge of the bridge, was a semi-fortified watch house. Okay. Um 3 stories, plus a little tower that pokes up a 4th story. Um It looked like, and there was like ways to throw barricades across the bridge. Might have been like a government thing, the tolls or whatever. But it's a fairly sturdy building, still standing after several hundred years. Um, and so going over the bridge is a little hinky because it creaks and groans and stuff. Um, Even being made out of stone. Um, and that's when you notice that there are eyes on you in the watchtower. So they recognize you, thankfully, or you'd be full of poisoned crossbow bolts and arrows. And they're like, quick, 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 come here. Opens this little innocuous little side door. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Get in, get in, get in. And they look and lock it behind you. Okay. So, Ranveer, you again sling the local lingo. Um, Brother Liam is there. He's terribly excited. Oh, it was an adventure. I had no idea what they were saying. And they grabbed me and threw me in the cart. And we were here. It was great. Oh, I got a cart ride. We're going to have to do that. Could somebody write that down? Oh, I guess I can write that down. I can write. Yeah. Uh, they, he tells the story about how they got spooked and everybody ran. But between you talked to a couple of the people here. The scouts came back with some bad signs. The indicators were that there was a ghoul pack um, heading that way. So they're like, better safe than sorry. Sorry we couldn't leave you any notes or messages. Some of those ghouls can get really clever. Um, but yeah, but we kept your knucklehead here safe. So yay us. So, after Liam tells you about his adventures, she goes right back into deciphering old books. So, but yeah, your cart's here, everything's safe. Apparently, this is one of their bolt holes. So, um, the chief says, if you ever need a safe place to hold out, feel free. Otherwise, we'd appreciate it if you just forget that this place exists. That would be nice. What do you do?
Let's tell them about the the fact that the outpost. They were right. It is abandoned. Um, and
Temporarily.
just yeah, temporarily, and that they're coming back. But if they wanted to make a stand against a smaller party, they if they wanted to, but it probably would not be in
Mm,
their best interest.
yeah. The problem is the bugs know that that's a place, and they're not that smart by themselves, but there's something smart behind them. Oh, did you hear the flyers earlier?
Was that like a buzzing noise?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, if you hear that, freeze. See if you can get some cover from observation from above. Yeah. Sometimes they're just moving stuff. Other times they're hunting, and you don't want to be snatched and taken away. So,
Can I? Uh,
um, what's that? And whoever it is you're talking to, Ranveer, is pointing at Luther's dog.
Oh, that's a stray we picked up.
Friend. It's a friend.
And there's an immediate, we know everybody calling in the boss, and the chief shows up looking a little grim, and Thorn is there too. And everybody's looking at your dog, who is very friendly and who has rolled over on his back and is showing this very nicely healing scar across his belly. Where did your dog come from?
The best place ever. I mean, he's an angel. I love him.
Necropolis.
Necropolis, yeah.
We healed that. Get some sort of grub in him.
Oh.
But we
Oh.
he was able to yak up.
Oh, okay. Back up. Tell me everything that happened. Xander, you were the one who was in charge of ridding this animal of its ailment. Do you leave anything out? That's just my question.
No, but I think I would embellish how much like I give credit to. It's not me. It's really Hikari that did this.
Gotcha. Yes. And I prayed, and the power of Hikari, the pureness and the light and the generosity and the joy. Yeah. You lay it on with a trowel, and they're like, yeah. Cut to the chase. Okay, so no, now they're fascinated, and it's like, okay, you're a very lucky dog. Yes, you are. Oh, yes, because you would have died. Yeah. Okay, not to give you any nightmare fuel, kids, but the bugs, when they grab you, they'll cut you open and put a egg or something inside you, stitch you up, and you live as long as it takes for the bug to get big enough to eat you from the inside out. Your breakfast. And we found that out accidentally when we rescued one of our buddies. Yeah. So you were able to get this thing out.
Mm-hmm.
Earned it.
Huh. Well, that's that's very. I mean, I hope you're God willing. I hope you never have to do that again. But it's good to know you can if you have to. Wow, that's that's yeah. Okay, good to know. Excellent to know. I don't suppose you could. I don't suppose you could teach that how somebody how to do that.
That I mean, it's this whole thing. You probably, if you want to learn that, you might want to have to like. You definitely want to become more friends with the Church of the Light because we can teach you, but it would not just be this strange ability. You would have to receive this kindness from Hikari.
Gotcha. Okay. You do have a couple of the Pilly who were like, hmm. So basically, you're entering into an agreement with a spirit or something that gives you healing powers in return for like gifts and worship and stuff.
Well, yes
I
and
mean,
no.
there's more to it than that, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a starting
Huh.
place.
Okay. Huh. How long you been worshiping this thing?
Since
You
since I
person.
was like since I was like 11, so quite a long time.
Have they ever made you do anything? Have they ever like you have to do this to prove like, loyalty and love and stuff?
Well, there's trials, but there's not, you cut off your hand, you cut nothing that
Hmm.
like personally harms you. It's just, you have to be informed and uh, give all that you can give and be prepared to sacrifice.
Sacrifice what?
Um, for me, it's been I've come across some precious metals and stuff, and I've sacrificed riches and um, personal gain in order to give to others so that they may be able to survive. and stuff like that.
This one kid, and I mean kid, she's probably about 11, 13. She pokes you. Doesn't look like you've missed any meals. Have you ever
No.
been like really hungry?
Uh,
Hmm.
there's been times on adventures, but not for long periods of time. I mean, Hikari provides.
Hmm. Hmm. The weird one who likes to look at the books. Does he know anything about this?
He could tell you about this for years.
Well, okay. So, you think maybe, let's see. Um, oops, her name is Rala. Um, Rala, just going forward, the next couple of times you see Rala, she's going to be hanging out and pestering brother Liam. They do not at this point share a language, but you think Liam has got like his first student. The next couple of times she's going to have picked up a significant amount of vocabulary, and she's learning to read and write your language. So, um, you may have an acolyte Rala on your hands at some point. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but some point. There's water in that particular pipeline. All right, so yeah. So the scouts and the trackers are like, yeah, we got some signs that there was a gold pack heading this way or headed the way toward our old stomping grounds. We decided to clear out. What is that smell? Oh, which one of you stepped in it?
Unfortunately, that would be me, says through
Okay,
gritted teeth.
okay, we need to clean that. And they get some double distilled alcohol and take you outside and clean off your boot real good. Um, I can tell that you've worn this for a while, so we won't throw it away. That's ghoul poop, okay? And that stuff, A, stinks. B, how did you step in it? They normally bury it.
Apparently, it wasn't deep enough.
Ooh, that's not a good sign. Last time that happened, if they like, okay, if you ever run into any more of that and it's out in the open, that's a territorial marker, probably between different groups of ghouls. Because we have seen signs that they might have been infighting. Um, who knows? But we think that if it's like out in the open, that's like this is our territory. You stay over there. So be real careful anytime you find anything like that. All right, so they set you up with a little bit of dinner tonight, so nobody has to mark any rations or water. Um, Anybody doing anything before nightfall or after nightfall?
I'm just gonna chill with the dog.
Okay. Have you named the animal yet?
Of course, of course.
Would you like a physic? What is it?
Moku.
Moku. Moku.
Yep,
Does it have a meaning in your language?
it does. I don't want to
What's
share it, but sure
okay?
does.
Okay. Oh. Got to keep your true name. Got to keep your true name true. I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay. Yeah. True names are important. Okay. So you get a restful night's sleep. Nobody needs to keep watch. Again, they've got a nice little setup going here in this old, um, I don't know, tax tower road warden thing. So, but yeah, um, it's in the morning. What do you do?
So, do we want to head back or try a different area?
Oh, Thorn does have some information for you. And well, or he can point you at some. He's been thinking about it. Um, So you all want to know what's going on with the Dominion, right?
That's correct.
You might think about talking to the rat folk, because those, I mean, it's not quite, one could be sitting in the room with us right now and we wouldn't know it, but you know, they're good. They're really, really, really good about getting in and out of places unseen. And if it was me, there's not a lot going on in and around the city that they don't know about. And so if a bunch of pretty guys in pretty armor showed up and made a pretty little fort in a dangerous place, that might be something that they would be interested in. So, go
I
ahead.
asked him if there's any way we could approach the rat folk diplomatically.
Well, you might want to talk to Sarah, because there's a do you know what blanket trading is? Okay. Basically, you want to trade with somebody, but they're like a little spooky and skittish and stuff. So you go and you put down a blanket, and you leave a space for them to put down a blanket, and you put the stuff on there that you want to trade. Okay, and then you back off, and you're like, and then they show up and they put down their blanket and they put the stuff down that they want to trade. Okay. And then they back off and you show up and you're like, oh, we want this and this and this and this and this. And you make a little pile of stuff that you want. And you back off and they show up and they take a pile of stuff of what they want. And if you show up and you're like, oh, okay, we'll trade that. You take all of the stuff that they didn't want and take the stuff that you traded for, and everybody's cool. It can go back and forth a little bit, but once you've done it a few times, you kind of know what people want. We've done some blanket trading with them before. They're pretty good about that. And they're a pretty good deal. Yeah, I mean, they want to cut a good deal, but the stuff that we've traded for has been good quality and plenty of it. And I don't know this for a fact, but I think the chief has got a way to like let him know that he wants to talk or wants a message to go through or something. I don't know. But there's been a few times when he's like, well, from what I understand, a little bird told me that we might have to do this and this, and I've thought about it. The only way that they would have got that info was from the rat folk. So you might buy him a drink and figure out stuff. Anywho, so first thing in the morning, well rested, informed, and we are currently at 4:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are approximately 80 minutes into our session. Is that right? Something like that. Yeah,
About.
about that.
About, yeah.
So might be a good time for a bio break. Thank you, faithful viewers, for watching. Again, if you are watching, you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, kudos, or conniptions or conundrums, go ahead and post some stuff in the chat. Questions. We'll go over them here in a little bit. I might be able to answer that for you. If you have any additional questions about the system, Splintered Moon, if you have anything about the group we are, no theoretical bias. If you're a GM who wants to do a guest GM spot for one of our little groups, if you're a player who wants to sit in, if you're somebody famous, I'm sorry, if you're somebody of interest to the hobby who wants to sit in on any of this, or if you know somebody who might be interested in watching, yeah, let us know and we'll reach out to them. All right, folks, we'll see you in about 10 minutes, 10 minutes by the clock. And go ahead and count us out there, boss.
All right.
I want to make sure I get my shoe back.
Oh yeah, it's all clean. Yeah, it's all.
I
The boot
suppose
is cleaned.
we start heading for the rat folk for information. Because
Yeah.
personally, I don't want to
Okay.
head through the bug area again.
Okay.
Oh, did
Uh,
did the Pilly mention if the rat people speak the same language as them or if they speak a separate dialect?
well, obviously they have their own speech based on the different vocalizations that they can make. Um, um, well, depending on who you talk to, um, Thorne has not actually had any direct dealings with them, but he'll tell you that the impression he gets from the trader and from the chief is they do speak and understand the Pili dialect. Um, and again, they're spies. So it would, um, put two and two together. Somebody among the rat folk probably speaks a lot of the local languages and dialects. So best of luck with that. Oh, and if they don't want you to find them, you probably won't find them except the hard way. They like traps too, like like badly like traps.
Do we want to possibly try the blanket trading thing to make contact?
Yeah, I mean, you could talk to Saro to see how he would normally set that up, but yeah,
We could but if we do blanket trading, we gotta kind of make it obvious that we're trading for information somehow, which is why I was wondering like the whole language thing.
hmm
Um,
hmm
Is there any kind of knowledge that the rat folk like?
Um, you don't know. Um, that's a really good question. Um, I mean, until fairly recently, you weren't even aware that they were here. Did you want to try to rack your brain, or sit down with Brother Liam and see if there's anything he or you all can find about the rat folk?
I can try a recall.
Okay. Again, are you going to make yourself? Are you going to avail yourself of the any reading materials, or are you just gonna wing it?
Let me use one of my books.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you want to use one of your books, or do you want to try and find something in the books that Liam is going through?
I guess first we'll try Liam.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a recall roll. Boom, and with the +1 from the books, that makes it a 10. Awesome. So interesting and useful. All right. So, um, oh, okay. This was a book actually that Liam brought with him. It's unusual in that it was written after the Gods Fall, after the fall of magic. And it's kind of a combination travel guide and it's not quite a Marco Polo's voyages kind of a thing, but there was a local tracker scout type who is pretty social, who went around various places and took some notes. and in his later years, sat down and wrote a book about everything that he remembered. Okay, so he does mention the Ratkin, um, and he says that unlike a lot of these folks, there's a lot of things happen during the fall to change people, places, and things. And so there are a lot of new creatures that were formed um, as a result of the fall. Magic burned through a village and changed everybody, and now they all have snake skin. Okay, fine. Um, the ratkin, the rat folk, are unusual in that they were around before that. Um, they um, have a very long history and tradition. He's he's dealt with them again minorly uh, again about 20, 30 years ago. But yeah, so they are really brilliant in a couple ways. They're excellent scouts, like he said. He was surprised because when he was scouting around, the scouts found him before he found the scouts. That's interesting. And he had to talk real quick to come out alive. They're big into alchemy. They're really, really big into um, the chemistry of stuff, and they have come up millennia ago. They came up with some nearly magical um, type of materials that don't actually require magic to make. Um, the one he mentions is called True Glass, all one word, True Glass. Um, doesn't, I mean, mentions it in passing, but yeah. Oh, and he does mention that they do like acid. They like using acid traps, acid, if they can like inject acid with blades and barbs and things. Um, yeah, they're pretty nasty about that. So, what do you do?
So I have these purification stones.
Hmm.
I feel like that'd be big interest some.
Possibly.
And I also do have a lot of books I could burn a use for anything on alchemy.
Okay. Okay.
If we want to set up like a not a peace offering, but like uh don't kill us offering.
Um, yeah, again, if they're up on that whole uh blanket trading thing, that's part and parcel there. Um, but what's your plan to get across that you want to actually sit down and have a conversation?
We're working on that.
Maybe we can. I feel like the very obvious sign for hospitality is like a glass of some like water and then two cups. So
Yeah, yeah, that would do it. That would definitely, I mean, yeah, that would get their attention. Okay. So how are you going to find out where to do that?
I feel like it's less on us to figure out where to do that and more on them to find us. If they're like that good at scouting, um,
I'm
we're
just
still
wondering how you're going to get the information across.
like the for the blanket trading bit or for the?
Yeah.
You could write a note.
Can they? Well, if a few of them may be able to like understand some of the Pili language,
I would
Mhm.
expect the traders to do so.
to do a little bit at least, right? And if
Right,
they can
right.
talk with their king, we might just want to like go to the border of their land and just kind of like walk around a little bit and just kind of wait for them to see us, and
Hmm.
then like lay out the blanket and lay out like 2 glasses like of water, and then like just instead of backing up, we just leave Ranveer there, and and if there's an issue, we can run forward a little bit, and Ranveer, you could maybe like sit down.
Yeah, sacrifice Ranveer. I'm up for it.
I I don't
It's
want to
so hard.
sacrifice him, but like
Well,
if we leave a
I
person,
talked my way out of a lot of stuff before. I
Yes,
think I could probably do it
you
again.
have gone out of some like serious situations before.
it's not wrong.
Ranveer is the first option. I'm the second option.
yeah, yeah. If it doesn't go well, we just
Okay.
we have Albrecht yell, "Hey, stop that," and then we're fine.
Hmm.
All right.
All right, so you give it a try. All right, so since this is going to be a social presentation, um, Ranveer, go ahead and give me a hot roll, please. That would do
Oh.
it. Okay, so um, you you find uh, you find a place. You think there is some like graffiti. Uh, uh, Starro said, "You'll know you're getting into Ratkin territory when you start seeing the graffiti." Um, there's like a stylized rat head with horns. Don't really know why about that. Or like like Monster Energy has got like the M is like claws down a. You'll see like a stylized claw slash someplace. So you think you're in the right area. Um, so just gonna set Ranveer out there on a blanket with a couple of cups and a jug of water and wait.
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
Let's do this.
I can throw in my really crappy incense that I
Okay.
don't want.
Well, let's not offend them. I don't want
Yeah.
to.
Water safe.
Yeah. All right. So it's a surprisingly short period of time. Um, you're sitting there and let's see. This person all bundled up, dusty, like they just came in the off the Badlands, okay, completely wrapped up in like it's dust gear basically. There's a big hood and face mask and all that, breathing mask. Can't really tell much about the person um, inside. Just the fairly small stature, right around your size, Ranveer, actually. Um, Cloak and head covering and whatnot, but dusty. So they come out of hiding and look around and just sort of wave at you a little bit.
Ranveer, wave back.
Wave.
Okay. So they pat off, whip off the cloak, shake it out real good. So it's all, I mean, clouds of dust. Put it back on and looking around. How close are you all watching Ranveer? Are you like,
How I would
I
say
would,
we're watching Ranveer from a distance that if something went wrong, he wouldn't be dead by the time we got there.
Okay, okay. Shout for help distance. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're over there. You, Ranveer, you see your new friend Stus. Okay, yeah, and comes over, crouches down a little bit, um, and starts to talk to you in a language that you don't understand. It's obviously a question.
could I
What do
possibly see if I could pick out some parts?
I mean, okay, tone and inflection says it doesn't appear to be related to the languages around you. I'll give you that much. What do you do?
I'm gonna motion at the water and kind of hold like a pitcher, kind of trying to say like, have a like sit down, have a drink.
Okay. This entity asks you another question in a different language, obviously not related to the first one. The difference would be bit или не бит это вопрос, and the second one would be like Ogen get this guy? What got a muska? Right? So what do you do?
I think at first like I put a hand to my chest, say my name.
Tarzan.
Uh, then I motion at like the ground for him to sit. I have I've I have water. Um, I also, if we are doing the book thing, I have a book saying like maybe trying to say like motion like trade.
So you're not speaking to this entity at all?
Um, I do, I do try to say like please sit, like
Oh,
I have a drink and
oh,
stuff like that.
okay. And he's talking to you. Oh, well, thank you very, very kindly for the invitation. Yeah, Ranveer, correct?
Yeah, yes, that's correct.
Saram, Sarzan. Very nice to make your acquaintance. Water.
That's correct. Yes,
So this is a social call.
absolutely.
Excellent. All right. Um, all right. So from somewhere under the cloak produces a small canteen and two like metal, they're like metal test tubes about this tall, slim, wide bases. He pops them out. This is a little, pours a little drink into each, unbuckles something on the mask so the flap falls down and gets a little straw out. And he says, which one did you want? Pick one.
Uh, I'll take that one.
Okay, so he takes the other one and he's poured from the same thing. And then can I have this one over here, this water over here?
Yes.
Okay. And he takes a sip of that and waits. What do you do?
I think. Well, I explained to him who I am.
Have you drunk the water yet?
I have, yes.
Okay. And did you drink whatever he poured?
Yes.
It's a male deeper voice. All right. Whatever you were expecting, this is not it. Liqueur, because it was obviously alcoholic. The liqueur, it tastes like flowers and gentle sunlight and ah, ooh, that was really nice. That was That was really nice. Okay. So once you've done that, that's when he sits down, and he takes off the rest of his mask. So he's got one of these, one of the like a breath mask, like half of a plague doctor thing. When he pops it off, it's because he needs it. He's
Mhm.
um got a snout. Um, takes off the hood and the ears come up. Um, so, you wanted to talk about something, and if you've got some friends waiting over there looking nervous, how about we all wave to your friends? Hi, friends. Hi. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
so that's my traveling crew.
Hmm.
We're a team of wanderers.
And you've wandered into a relatively dangerous place. You know that, right?
Yes.
So, let's see. Hypothesis. You knew enough to come in here and sit down and act friendly, which means you knew we were here. Good, I guess. You knew that we could be approached. Good. So you know the pilly.
Yes, we do.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Good. 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 Are they all still alive and happy and breathing and stuff?
Yeah, there was a scare with a ghoul group, but
Oh,
they got away.
so, yeah. When you say ghoul, he spits. Oh, I hate those bastards. Oh man. I mean, our scouts are really sneaky. Those little just are such a colossal pain in the ass.
Seems to be a mutual feeling.
Yeah, no, they hate us for a reason too. They're there's more of them, but we're better at what we both do. So, all right. So, social visit. What can Sarzem of the Rika do for you?
Well, we came over here in seek of information.
Okay.
We know that there's a Dominion outpost in the Necropolis.
Oh, Dominion. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. Okay. Have you folks ran afoul of the Dominion thus far?
We have not met them, but we explored their outpost. It's abandoned currently.
What you know their names? How do you know the Dominion if you've never run into them?
One of my friends has an association with another group that knows them.
Okay. How's your friend's little group doing?
They're the Church of Light.
May have heard of them actually over east, about a week's walk.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah. So, okay, Dominion. Oh, they probably yeah. He's mostly black furred, but he's got some gray markings. Um, oh, they probably just showed up with the hello, hello, fellow survivors. Let us band together under the banner and let us protect you. Visit, right? Right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They're good at that. Yeah.
I'm
Um,
assuming they made a call to your people.
oh no, no, no. We've successfully avoided them at this point. No, they wouldn't be real interested in us. I don't think. Indications are. Um, they don't seem to have a lot of use for people that have a little too much. Well, have a body hair issue, let's say, or scales or feathers or yeah. Anyway, so you want the information about Dominion. Okay. Well, then, if I may, uh, friend Ranveer, is it? if I may suggest at your convenience that we conclude the social portion of this meeting and get down to business. Yeah?
Of course.
Okay. Yes, my folk do traffic and information. All right. And not to, as your friends the Pilly will tell you, there isn't anybody better at finding things out. So what is it you'd like to know about them? And what are you willing to pay for it?
So I have a couple items that might be of interest. Purification stones. I have a couple books on alchemy. But we are looking to know, why is the outpost there? Why did they leave?
All right. Well, then let's do a little bit of blanket trading. I can give you our current best guess as to why the Dominion left in exchange for it's not a trivial response, but oh, those are pretty nice purification stones, by the way. And though the third one there is gonna go bad on you in about, you probably have 3 more uses out of it before it goes south. But thank you very much. Our alchemists are quite deft at the purification stones. Um, I think one of them, they change color when they start to go bad. It's kind of cool. So what would be something trivial? What do you have on offer for why they left?
So, like I said earlier, I have this alchemy book. Um,
I'm not an alchemist. I wouldn't be able to tell you what it's worth. Well, good faith. It's good faith. All right, all right, all right. Let's see it. Ah, yes. A brief history of alchemy. All right, all right. That's worth. We'll see. Okay, I'll make you this deal. If I speak to my alchemy friends and they tell me that it's worth more than this piece of information, I will give you additional information or something similar in value. Are we agreed?
agreed.
Excellent. All right. So, the long and the short of it is, Dominion showed up, put in a real nice little mini fort over there, um, drew the attention of the local bugs. Yeah, the neighborhood. It used to be a nice place, Ranver, but then the ghouls moved in and the bugs. Anyway, yeah, they got the attention of the bugs. Never, 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 never a good idea. And so the bugs started throwing things at them, you know, and they fought them off relatively successfully. Um, and the possibility exists. We know why the Dominion set up the outpost here in the first place. That will cost you extra. Um, the possibility exists that they found what they were looking for and won't be back. Um, and when they did their organized retreat, they did, however, set things up so that they could. Um, so, indicators are our current best knowledge states that either they found what they were looking for and left with an option to return, or they weren't finding enough of what they wanted and bugged out, possibly to show up in greater force to exert their will. So, um, would you agree that that information is fairly valuable to you?
Definitely.
Excellent. All right. As for the rest of it, um, I don't like being out and exposed like this. If you would trust me, thank you again for your trust. If you would trust me far enough, uh, um, would it be better if we met you someplace to again maintain health and safety, or would you and your compatriots be willing to move this to a slightly more secure location?
We can move this.
You sure?
Yes.
You
We're
don't.
wanderers. It's what we do.
Okay. Um, so you go and tell your friends that, and then the rest of you can meet me here, and I'll take you there.
Alright.
So, what do you do?
So obviously I go back, tell him everything that happened, what he said, and that he would be willing to tell us more if we head to their area.
Okay. I'm down for
Didn't
this.
didn't we already know that they left because of some bugs? Like, wasn't that known information?
Not necessarily.
It was heavily implied information that we could
Well,
have.
I'm just. We got established contact. That's the main thing that we wanted here, and it worked. We
We
should.
lost a good book though.
I can't. Okay, Luther, but wouldn't it be cool if we ventured further into their territory and you got to explore more and possibly learn some more secrets and
Listen,
alchemy?
I'm not alchemy. Maybe they have something that'll interest me. I don't know.
There you go.
Why not?
All right.
Okay.
But
Was decided
Albrecht,
then?
you and I should still kind of be, ready to throw down, but also not necessarily. Just why don't you keep an eye out a little bit?
Gladly.
Let's go.
Alrighty. So, yeah, you meet and greet Sarzem, the ratkin person. By the way, they call themselves the Rekka. If you're going to be polite. And he nods and takes you over the river and through the woods to a few places. So you end up in what is got all the hallmarks of like the remains of like a dive bar. Okay, this was a tavern at some point, and not a good one. That just everything still smells like very, very vaguely of like cheap perfume and really bad, rot gut alcohol and like smoke. Um, but the there's a couple of big yeah, couple of big burn marks on the roof, and it's kind of short and claustrophobic, but and again, you would have walked past this building as like a pile of rubble. You'd be like, yeah, there's no way in that. But if you go around here and scoot around there and duck under here, it's the beams have fallen at an angle, so you're kind of in like a lean-to kind of area. But it would fit 6 or 8 people relatively comfortably. You'd probably even be able to sleep in here if there's no drafts or anything. All right, so he breaks out a little candle lantern, sets it up, and looks around for a little bit of a draft and sets it there so it gets some good air. And again, breaks out the liquor, pours everyone, this much at the bottom of a tiny little tubular shot glasses. Waits till everybody's had a drink. Pets your dog. Oh yes, you're very good. You don't like rats, do you? No, no, you don't. You bite them. Yes, good. Yes, we're not rat. All right, cute dog. Okay, so hi. Yeah, I'm Sarzam. So I understand that you folks are interested in information about the Dominion. Okay. Um, and what would make it easier for me possibly is what do you already know? So I'm not trying to sell you anything that you don't need.
Okay, so I think I think we divulge. Okay, I'm gonna talk about how they came with the welcome party, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and then uh, we know that they have enslaved and raided the northwestern tribes,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that they're probably gonna come in force with some more people again, with a bit of a second group, most likely, to the temple. But what we would like to know, there's a few things we'd like to know, but just a few things is whether whether we could maybe rely on the rat people in the future, or the Rekka in the future, um, or B, if we could possibly, if they have any weaknesses, any areas where we might be able to defend more properly.
So you're saying you got indicators that a big force of Dominion is going to be showing up at your temple to demand obedience, to demand joining the fold.
Knowing how the mothers and fathers act, I would say that they're going to be kind with their speech at first, but definitely reject the friendship, or rather the parasitic friendship they offer. Um, at first kindly, and then eventually with force, but I assume that our force will be met with a greater one.
May I give you a gift?
Sure.
All right, this one's for free. Um, if they follow a typical pattern, they showed up with a bunch of pretty guys in pretty armor, right? Looking like complete badasses, right? Okay, that's one. Okay. Look at us, look at how awesome we are. That's the carrot and the stick. It's like, hey, we can protect you. Oh, and here's some people that we're protecting that aren't us. They're the ones carrying all the heavy stuff. Yeah. So that's the first move in the chess game. The second move is they're going to show up with somebody really innocuous, a scribe, um, a diplomat, um, just a nice person. I mean, they're going to look like somebody's auntie or somebody's uncle. You're going to take the kids out back and teach them how to smoke cigars and swear. That kind of a person. And they're going to say, "Hey, can I just talk to you and be here as an unofficial like diplomat?" Depending on how well that goes, that buys you like a year or two. Okay. And here's the gift. You're kind of on the edge. You're kind of on the edge. The Dominion is growing, and has grown for some time, but um, your temple is a long way away from the the big thinkers, the movers. Okay. And um, not to put too fine a point on it, um, the the Necropolis is going to buy you some time because they have to go around it. Um, so that is your gift. All right. So you're looking for, if I understand correctly, you're looking for who are the Dominion? What do they want? What do they do? How big of a threat? Um, time frames, et cetera, et cetera. Um, anything else?
Luther, did you want to?
Do you by chance, and this is completely off topic, but do you guys know anything about uh, elemental incense? I've heard that it was a really common thing before that event, that big event that
A big event.
you know, and I heard there was something like that before it, and I wanted to know if you guys
Elemental
knew anything about it.
elemental incense. That's ringing a bell distantly. I have a cousin who might know more than that. Um, I'll tell you, he doesn't come cheap. Um, yeah, let me ask around. Um, yeah, elemental. Yeah, yeah. Um, Cricky, Cricky might be interested in that. Um, okay. Cricky doesn't get out much though, so I'll let him. I'll ask him about that. Elemental incense. All right. So as far as what you're willing to pay for this information, the good news is we like to trade information for information, especially if it can be verified. So if you know anything that we don't, um, good to know. Um, Again, your friend here is offering alchemical information. Again, um, there's stuff that the ancients put together that we don't have yet. Um, so that would be of value to us. Any kind of trade goods, excellent. Um, that sort of thing. Um, so let's start at the top. Do you have any information that we don't have?
Well, I'm sure you've heard about the Temple of Light. Would you like to know more?
I'll run that up the the to the people who are paying me and see if they want to know more. Okay, so that's on offer. Chapter, line, and verse. No offense. Chapter, line, and verse about a religious organization. Okay.
Do you know about how the bugs reproduce at all?
Um, how long has your dog had that scar?
It actually relates to that. If you want that information, that could be our payment. Really good information to know, actually. It could save
How
people, actually.
how long have you had the dog?
About a day, a few days.
How'd you get the grub out?
Uh, um, I mean, either this one or the other one did something. I don't fully remember. I wasn't paying that much attention.
Um, uh, Master Ranvir, brother Xander, could you define did something in this context?
Healing magic.
Oh, um, this healing magic didn't take the form of expensive bottles of colored water, did it?
Hands.
These hands.
Those hands.
Would you show me?
Okay. Uh, that would be great, and I appreciate your gift from earlier. But we were also told that you are very fickle people and that you're very good at negotiating. And I don't. We've submitted a few information pieces we might want to receive. if there's someone here who needs help, I would be more than willing to help somebody. But if
Okay.
it's just a display of my magic in return for something else, we, I, you've operated in good faith. I don't see why I couldn't do that.
See, here I was going to slash my hand with my dagger and say, "Oh, brother Xander, this poor ratkin has hurt himself. Can you heal him?" And now you have to go being all that was like even Stevens on the whole noble and yet no, thank you. I I evidently need to work on my diplomatizing. Um, I might actually. Hmm. And this healing magic, is it only for like wounds and trauma, or can it affect, illnesses long term?
It can affect. I'm fairly certain I can help with illnesses. I don't know how long of a term I can help you with, but um, yes, I can. If it's done well enough, and you may offer up a prayer to my deity, I can possibly remove a disease.
Um, all right, I'm gonna have to bring that up the chain as well. Sorry. But that's good information to have. So thank you. I do owe you. Um, so, um, a little bird told me that somebody had been inside the outpost. Um, the the people I represent would be interested in that information.
Albert.
Well, as far as we know, inside the outpost has been entirely stripped of anything useful and has been taken with whatever army the Dominion had posted there.
Hmm. Completely stripped, you say?
With the exception of, it seems like they were prepared for anybody to scavenge, to say the least. There were
Mm,
2 bugs dead
mm,
by the front door.
we heard that. And found some remains. Um, did you find any other signs of traps, tricks, unpleasant surprises?
Yes, they tried to trap us with, what was it, like a fancy horse bridle thing? What'd you call it?
Yeah, it's just a bridle. Oh, what was
They
the what was the what was the damaging mechanism? Like a scythe or something that falls down?
we have yet to figure out.
Oh,
Granted, the horse bridle thing is of absolutely no worth, as it is cheap material and
right,
is
right.
rotting.
So was it a blade? Was it a explosive? What was the how was it trapped? Deadfall?
2 liquids in a ceramic pot made to break. Let alone these liquids didn't seem too I don't know, dangerous. But the point of the pot was to break, and I would assume this would mix the 2 liquids in the process.
Oh, it's a shame that it the pot didn't break?
No.
No?
Not a very good trap then.
Oh,
Well,
I guess not.
Did
we
I,
you
I I would say it was more of a very astute observation on our part, and less of the effectiveness of the trap.
Oh, so you didn't set it off. Gotcha. So 2 liquids, you said. You don't happen to have this wondrous little device with you, because I think my alchemists would be interested in seeing that.
Albrecht.
I really don't want to give up. I really want to use it.
But it'd be really cool if you gave it up, though. It'd be really cool
We
and
could,
awesome and cool.
yeah.
I can't promise anything, but again, research methods being what they are, if you did happen to have a device like this and you were willing to let our people take a look at it to figure out what it did and how, we would be willing to reimburse you for the knowledge as and again, if it didn't require destruction in order to figure it out, I don't think they'd have a problem in returning it.
Albrecht, they
Or-
could just like ladle it, the two liquids, and
Mm.
If we were to give it up, who says that they cannot reverse engineer it?
That's what we're hoping, actually.
Would it be possible, if we were to give it up, that we could be reimbursed by this reverse engineered product?
Again, no theoretical bias against it. Um, may I see it?
Yes.
Fine. As he
Yeah.
pulls it
All right. He doesn't
from his
touch it.
sides.
He doesn't touch it, but he does smell it a little bit, and he's looking at it. Hmm. I have some guesses. Uh, how big was the space? Was this a smaller room, a larger room?
it was smaller.
Yeah, that would do it. I have some guesses. All right. So, apart from a meeting space, this is also a safe spot, currently unbeknownst to anyone who wishes the folk ill. So you can feel free to rest a little bit here. I'm going to take this information back to my folks, and we'll see. We'll see what there is to see. Again, a word about payment. What were you? Oh, and don't think I forgot about that veiled offer of an alliance, my good brother. What is it that you have on offer? Again, friend Ranger, I don't know. I can't assess the value of this alchemy book. So, um, what else did you have to offer for the information?
There's always jingle,
True.
if that's of use to your people.
Yes.
I have some incense that pretty nice. Works very well as incense.
But it's not the elemental incense
No,
that we were looking for.
no, sadly not. But at the end of the day, it's still incense.
True. What's its profile? Is it sweet? Is it herbal? Is it
I believe
musky?
it's more of a musk. But
Oh, okay. Did you shall we say, did you source that fairly locally?
it may be, but I can't confirm nor deny.
Gotcha. I will tell you, if it smells very strongly, very musky, in a way that you have to think about whether or not you like it before eventually deciding that it doesn't smell bad, it just smells very strongly. We have some. Um, and may I give you a gift, Mr. Luther?
Gladly.
You might want to hang on to that. It does have some uses that have yet to present themselves to you. So, Again, make yourselves comfortable, gentle beings. I'm going to go and talk to some people. I would say just broadly, the answer as to whether or not we have or have access to elemental incense, I can get you for free, whether or not we have it, or have access to it, or know of a source. I can get you that information for free. Thank you, Master Albrecht, for the information about the interior of the outpost. That that's a mark on you. That's a tally on your side of the ledger. Excellent. All right, I shall return. And he leaves. What do you want to do while you're waiting?
Oh, did he take the grenade jug, or is it still,
No,
or do I
no,
still have?
he inspected it fairly thoroughly and gave it back.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna play with Moku. I love him.
Okay. Yeah,
Just gonna play with him.
he's a sweetie.
So I think I'm. Did he say how long it was going to be before he returned, or he just?
The implication was that you'd have time to, like, have a drink, have a sit down, take a nap, whatever.
I'm gonna offer a prayer up a little while. I kind of would like to set a mission, but I don't know. So I want to. It's kind of a broad one, right?
Okay.
My goal is my overall goal. Like my long term mission is to obviously defend us from the the Dominion.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to know. I guess like discover the truth of would be one of the ones I'm trying to do right now, where I'm trying to like gather information on them and what they, not necessarily what they are, but like discover the truth of like how we can defend ourselves. I don't really know how this would work.
Okay. Okay. So let me just take a look here at our prayer. All right. So you can take a mission to slay something, defend something, discover the truth of something. And depending on how well you roll, depending on how well your patron is interested in this, then you get boons and vows. Okay. So since your desire can't succinctly be stated as I swear to do X, Y, and Z, or die trying kind of a thing. You offer a prayer, you offer up a prayer. I'm gonna take it as a prayer of guidance.
Okay.
Please put my feet on the right path, please. Um let me get my head right, basically. And you don't get like a vision, you don't get like a finger of God coming down and saying, do this, do that. But the general impression you get is you need to know more before you can say anything. Okay. And you were reminded of, of course, they keep track of any of the brothers and sisters and fathers and mothers who have sworn mighty oaths to go on missions and say prayers and whatnot. And so they tell a lot of stories. And there was a time when one of the sisters, she just knew there was something wrong. Just something was great and terrible and wrong, and she just had to do something, but she couldn't figure out how to, like, you know, and she later went on. She went blind in one eye, and so had to go back to just writing and guiding. And she wrote like the 48 parables of the sister, and it was like, when strike, when you must strike cleanly, but you can't cleave with a sword that's still at the forge.
Right.
You gotta prep. You gotta get to know, because just some hypotheticals. The Dominion is the worst thing since burnt toast, and they have to be destroyed. So you swear the big oath to completely destroy the Dominion. The Dominion is the greatest thing since Betty White. They are pursuing questionable methods, but they're fighting off against the giant troglodyte, whatever, and they need your help. So your mission is to defend the Dominion from those who beset them, whatever. You don't even know. They're basically just a political force at this point, pursuing questionable methods. So, again, gentle, pat on the back from the spirit, saying, "Look, find out if there are some bad guys, and then decide what you're going to do about them." So there's that. All right. So everybody has a good rest and has a chance to take a little break. And Sarzam comes back. He's like, "Oh, okay, friend Albrecht. That's probably a poison gas." Um, Again, Cricky gave me like a 9 out of 10 chance. It's pretty easy to make ammonia, and it's pretty easy to make bleach. And if you had a jug of one and a jug of the other separated by a bit of thin bit of pottery, if you busted that, that's going to be a very large cloud of really nasty stuff that you don't want to be breathing. So, yeah. So that's my gift to you. And yeah, we could probably make some Master Ranvir, but they probably won't. I mean, they if you really wanted to pay extra for some poison gas things, the problem is they're a little too indiscriminate. And if you mess up while constructing them, a lot of the brothers and sisters get sick or die.
I understand.
So, but for there's one for free. All right. So to begin the negotiations, we can tell you roughly the extent of the Dominion's holdings. Um, that's one piece of information. That would be, I don't know, 3 to 5 jingle, depending on what you got. We do have a tendency to like more things like chemistry. If you had any chemical compounds, or access to same or large quantities of simple compounds, we could talk about that. We could tell you what we know of the Dominion's goals. That would be a separate piece. Again, call that 3 jingle. We can tell you something about the Dominion that you haven't asked, but it would be pertinent to the situation. What else? Oh, Master Luther. Yes. My cousin Kukri says that they do know of the alchemical incense. It is a process and a half to make any, and that he's not currently in possession of any. Also, there are some ingredients that he would need that he's not currently in possession of. So, if you were interested in continuing that conversation, the first step would be to show up with some of the stuff he's going to need to make it. But yes, that is definitely a possibility. He assures me that he has made some in the past, and it's a pain in the butt. So what information? Oh, and as an official representative of the Reka to a representative of the temple, um, we're not currently seeking an alliance at this time. Not to offend our brothers and sisters who walk in the light. Um, we would we're looking for more and better information on how we could help you and how you could help us, basically. Um, it's only a good deal if both sides think it is. So, people other than me are looking into it. So, what can I sell you today, gentlemen?
Would you take maybe information on a location that we've been to previously? Let's say maybe a journal of a lieutenant from, before the big event.
Okay, timeout, out of character. Brother Xander, there is no way in hell that you would sit on Luther doing this. Okay.
I
He's
wouldn't.
about he's about to give up the location, potentially give up the location of hundreds of thousands of gallons of fresh water.
Yeah,
Accidentally fresh water, yes, and a defensible location to sit on. So
yeah.
just
I'm letting him. If he's just gonna offer up the journal, that's
Yeah,
fine. But if he's gonna offer up that we were there and like all this other stuff and where we got it, I'm gonna be like, no, stop. So
all right. So if I understand you correctly, Master Luther, this is a journal of a military person from before the fall.
absolutely.
And you're aware there has been a significant period of time between then and now.
Well, of course, but from the context of this journal and the writing and everything about it, it does seem like it was of some notable figure, maybe. Of course, I'm not too educated on the past, but maybe your people know more.
Hmm. Um, he's got a he's got an odd look on his face. He says, "Tell me the name of the officer."
I believe his name slipping my
Is
mind. I'm sure I could
is
find it somewhere.
is are you just reading it out of the journal?
Yeah,
Okay. And all right. So officer and the unit and this country he served. Okay. And he's got the air of somebody committing that to a very special kind of memory. I will ask, and we'll see what that's going. Currently, no monetary value to that information, but that's subject to change. Oh, by the way, and he gives you your book, your alchemy book back, um, Ranveer. Um, he says, my apologies. First of all, the information about the outpost was uh, considered valuable enough that we didn't need this book. And just between you, me, and my cousin, it's a fairly basic text. It would be good for somebody just getting started on the basics of alchemy, but we're a little past.
Thank you for looking though.
Oh, not at all. Thank you. You're very polite. Has anybody told you that? You're very polite. You're
Thank
nice.
you.
You've got a good heart, friend Ranveer. I, so What information would you like? Locations? Would you like
What was the
what,
what was the
what
pertinent bit? The pertinent
uh,
one. Are we able to for the value of the outpost information? Or,
oh,
or I could possibly heal something. I like to know the
yes.
pertinent information.
Yes. All right. So the information is either known locations of Dominion holdings, best information about motivations, desires, and ultimate goals, or some mystery information that you have not asked but might be more pertinent to the immediate.
Yeah, let's go with mystery information for
All right.
100.
Um, and he does this kind of chittering. If you could whistle through your nose on purpose, with a little bit of a rah, 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 to go with it, that's what he does. And that's when a piece of shadow unfolds itself from the wall, and there is this tiny little rat folk. Okay. And his big ears, I mean, big ears. You don't know how he hid in the shadow with the ears this big. They're easily a third of his mass. No, that's not true. But he's got very big ears and big eyes. And he looks nothing like literally nothing like brother Liam, but they're twins. Somehow they're just, you're like, if brother Liam was a rat folk, this would be him. They're separated at birth. Okay. And he's just twitchy. He also has a fairly nasty cough that comes up. He says, gentlefolk, this is my cousin. Um, he had an accident years ago with a very similar device to the one that you have found. Don't drop that, by the way, any place near anyone you like. And had some got some ongoing lung concerns. I was wondering, good brother, if you would be able to help my cousin a little bit here.
I can try.
Okay. Since you're not under any like major duress,
Hmm.
since you're not trying to do it in like combat or anything, um, I can you can take your time. You don't even have to roll. Um, but it's going to be it's not minimal effect, but like just basically it's a 10 plus effect, but it takes you a little while to do it.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead. Yeah. When you get in there, you get a sense of again some soft tissue damage, some lung damage that you are able to alleviate. Minor rejuvenation. Um, Little Creakery's breathing improves immensely, and he's like, his nostrils. Normally, I'd be coughing up a storm with that. Oh my gosh, this feels so much better. Yeah, oh, that's great. Yeah. He's like, yeah, this. mm, mm, Okay. So, Sarzem, I am in your debt, brother, and for that, I will give you that pertinent piece of information. Um, the outpost that you've been to, excuse me, um, was not the only Dominion holding in the Dead City. They had a much larger presence a little deeper in some old governmental building of some kind. Um, and that was overrun. They had a full full military organization unit. I can't remember what they call them. Basically, it was 4 nights 4 full bore knights. Double handful of senior guardians, and probably 120 to 150 guardians, plus associated workers. Yeah, big deal. But they got the bugs' attention and got stomped pretty flat. So there may be, they did not get an opportunity for an orderly retreat, so there may be more and better information on them at the ruined fortress, or what they had turned into a fortress anyway. Would you say that that information was worth the effort that you made to heal my cousin?
I would. Yeah.
Excellent. So the information about the other things still stands. If you're ready, willing, and able to trade some funds for that.
Does anybody have like
And
jingle?
any jingle?
'Cause
Any jingle?
I'm out of jingle. I don't know about you
Hmm.
guys.
I know I have some.
I have a good amount.
Define
have
a good
2.
amount. You got 2. Okay.
I don't know exactly how many I have. I can check.
Mhm.
Solid 4.
Okay.
I'm not willing to depart with them, but yeah, I got a solid 4.
I got 8.
You got 8?
Yeah.
You have 8?
Oh, well, for 6 you can get the full deal on both their lands, holdings, and motivations. Did you want to do that?
Sure.
Okay, so go ahead and burn 6. Go ahead and burn 6, Jingle. I'll even say that 1 or 2 of them is like of specific interest to the Rekka. So they're very, very pleased with the 6 Jingle you gave them. All right, so motivation is pretty simple. They are an expansionistic group, um, have been very successful. Thank you. Have been very successful, very well organized, very well motivated, probably a religious order at some point back in the day, though their religion now seems to be just the Dominion. They have some ideas about bringing back a golden age, um, righting what was wrong. These will turn blue again, forests and clean water, and the magic will come back, all that. So that's their official line. Um, Now they have been really good about finding and inventing and reinventing and innovating a lot of tech. Their weapon technology is excellent. Great armor, relatively lightweight, great weapons. They don't break or bust. Um, Crossbows, man, those guys know how to do crossbows. You do not want to be on the receiving end of a crossbow volley when you're charging across too much open space. That's one of the ways they were able to hold the bugs off as long as they could. But yeah, they're expansionistic. They do have a very much an us and them philosophy. Um, and if you're in, then your kids and grandkids can start getting inducted into the ways of the Dominion. Your kids probably won't be invited to be in the Guardians. The grandkids, pretty definitely. Um, they've had some heroes and warriors of renown, um, that were second and third generation uh, new converts, shall we say. Um, they're big into it. Basically, it's warriors and thinkers. pretty even on the social chain, warriors and thinkers. Um, the head warrior any place has got a head thinker around as an advisor. All the chief thinkers have got warrior advisors on what they should be doing next. It's a right hand and left hand kind of thing, and they work really, really well together. Um, there's some indications that they've got some access to some old magical weapons and things. Might even be able to make healing potions. We're not sure. That one's pretty tightly guarded. So yeah, they are large, organized, motivated, some might even say fanatical. Okay, so um the holdings. I'm sorry, you're probably not going to like this. All right. So he sketches out a map. Actually, he does actually have a piece of parchment that he borrowed from Cree. Okay. So if on the map, can you all see it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
On the map, the green square is your temple. Okay. Again, about 7 days. This is about 7 days travel at a relatively decent walk. Okay. The one square there is the outpost. The northernmost square is the outpost. The other square is the fortress that got overrun. That happened first. The outpost showed up, they occupied the outpost, had enough good information, brought in a whole bunch of people, occupied an old building, fortified it, got stomped flat, and left. So the outpost people made it out just fine. The fortress people did not. But we don't know what the bugs left behind. Okay, now bad news. A couple days north of here is one of their most recent new acquisitions. It was called the King's Bar. Evidently, the local rulers way back when had this like rod of knightly ship, kingly ship, whatever. And so it was called the King's Bar. So the town's called King's Bar. Anyway, again, kind of a wide spot in the road, trade type town. It's right next to an old dam on a mostly dry river. But what little precipitation does happen gets caught behind the dam, so they've got an intermittent and cruddy water source, but there is a water source. So that's again a couple days walk north of here. The other spots, another new one is to the northeast. They have made their presence known at a place called Marble, just Marble Quarry. And again, it's what it says on the label. There used to be a quarry. It was a quarry town. For whatever reason, they expressed an interest in the location and took up residence. Other towns that we know of, towns, strongholds, etc., etc. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Those are the ones that we know about. Spread out over, there's some real badlands between the north and the south there. Again, lots of nasty creatures, um, hostile wildlife, etc., etc. So a lot of the forts and so on are like local governors. Um, so yeah, and I'll mark the ones here between now and next time, the ones that are purely military forts and the ones that are actual villages and or towns. But yeah, so they're running a show for 10 major settlements in way too close. You are, however, on the edge, because he says this one go. This one was the original stronghold. So they've expanded north and south. But yeah, you're not on the main path. And yeah, so you're in the hinterlands. So yay. All right, and we're now at 5:57, rolling in on 6 o'clock, trying to get end of session since you're at a fairly decent stopping spot here. First of all, check your motivations, folks. Check your motivations for the viewing public. Motivation is what gets you going. If you get knocked down and you get up again, this is the reason why. Everybody check your motivation. Did anyone hit your motivation goal?
Me, guidance at that one point, be using magic to help another.
Sure. Sure. You were worried about Liam, and so you're like, oh gosh, we have to find him. I'll cast some magic. Mark XP. Anybody else?
I
I
didn't
think
endanger myself. I endangered Ranveer instead, so it kind of.
Yeah. Hey, if you're going to be bait, Ranveer, get out there and wiggle. Shake what Mama gave you. All right. Anyway, Luther.
I'm pretty sure I took a risk at some point. Not sure when. Probably didn't even happen. But
Okay, so no on the motivation. Everybody, check your key. Did anybody's key get triggered on this one, either accidentally or on purpose?
So
Mine was about to.
What was that?
do you want to go?
Yeah, Will, what was about to happen?
My authoritative was really close, but he didn't divulge the fort area.
Oh,
So
okay. So read me authoritative again.
act unethically so I can force you to do the right thing.
Okay, cool. Yep, hair's breadth. You were thinking about it. All right. And Ranveer, what were you going to say?
So mine is trusting, where it's like be suspicion of a person so I can trust them regardless. I don't know if me getting out there is like
Yeah, I mean it falls under the trusting. Go ahead and mark XP for that. All right. And so check your blood, folks. Check your blood. Blood again for the viewing public is your attitudes about the other party members, good, bad, or ugly. You don't have to like them, you don't have to love them, but you do have an opinion of them. Has anybody's opinion of your party members changed appreciably?
I
Show of hands.
I think one of mine for Luther is constantly evolving in Xander's
Mm-hmm.
eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he thought that Luther was about to really display where, oh, hey, there's this big water source. Now tell me about this alchemical stuff. And but he didn't, and instead he protected it, and he offered up something that he didn't know if it was valuable or not, and he could have, but he didn't. And so I think the Luther is still the selfish persona he projects is, I'd say, resolved for now until he acts selfish again.
Excellent. Okay. So Luther contains hidden depths, and he's not above thinking of the greater good. Who knew? I think it was the dog. I think the dog is.
Yeah.
I think we're going to look back on it, and it's like it was the dog. It was. What's his name?
Moku. Shout out to Moku.
Yeah, Moku. Because when Moku, it just something. It was like a switch flipped. He was just like, "No, I have something to live for that's bigger than me and my own selfish desires." And it's Moku, and you're going to put up a statue to the dog eventually. That'll be awesome. Cool. Anybody else have any blood resolved? Mark experience there, Brother Shander.
Thank you.
And you can also form a new blood with either Luther or anybody else that you want to.
Okay, I'm looking at some ones.
Okay, beautiful. Anybody else?
I might have one with Albrecht.
Okay, what was the old one?
So my old one was, I sympathize with him in a situation. However, his actions bug me.
Okay, what's
I
the
was
new
really kind of an evolution of that, where it's extremely bugged me when he was hesitant to give up the grenade for good information.
Okay, so read the old one.
I sympathize with him in a situation. However, his actions bug me.
Okay, so that's refined now to Albrecht is it's taken a turn for the worse, right?
And
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or in a selfish way.
Okay, so Albrecht's selfishness is really starting to annoy me, kind of a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that works for you, Albrecht?
Yep.
Okay, so change that and mark XP. Anybody else?
I think that's all of mine that resolved so far.
Okay. Luther, I'm just going to put this bug in your ear. If you ever, I'm not saying that you're going to want to, but if you ever want to take an advance that gets you like an animal companion a la the Hazard, I will, depending on how well you treat this dog, I will entertain that as a future possibility.
He's
So
a little
just-
angel.
Yes, isn't he? He's a polite, he's a demon. He's a demon made flesh, a polite demon that would hold a door for a lady, but a demon nonetheless. All right, so lastly, the big three. Did you learn something new about the world?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
Yes, you did. Oh, mercy my. Did you defeat a noteworthy enemy?
Nope.
Not yet, but
No.
we're gearing up. And did you recover a noteworthy treasure?
Would you say the information
Information?
was worth it?
Information.
Or the
Information is fairly noteworthy. Yeah. What else?
gas that we can
Gas
grow?
bomb. Yes,
Yeah.
the chlorine gas bomb. That's a very nasty little. That's going to leave a splash on the wallpaper. That's nasty. All right, so everybody mark XP for the new information and for the recovered treasure. All right, so you are going to count as in a safe place for purposes of leveling up. So if you do level up, it's your current level plus 7 in XP. If that's the case, take the time between now and next session to level up and tell me what you've decided for your benefit and boon. All right, so tune in next time, folks, as the Fortress of Bone crew
Stars.
collectively clutches their pearls in horror at this this sprawling monstrosity that is the not necessarily religious, but definitely zealous group of Dominion knights and guardians. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Oh, last but not least, gold stars. Gold stars. Let's just go round robin. Albrecht, who gets your gold star for the evening?
I think I will give it to Xander, mostly
Yay!
because of him healing Kree. He essentially we were given access to the
Yes,
holdings of the Dominion.
yes, excellent. So, Mark XP and Ranveer, who gets yours?
I'm gonna have to say, um, Xander as well.
Mercy. Got starting a picket fence here. All right, fantastic. And Luther, who gets yours?
Probably Ranveer. At the end of the day, he gets us information.
That's true. That's
All
true.
I need.
That's true. I was talking to somebody about that the other day, about the essence of diplomacy. And I said, I don't know. Somebody said, are you a good diplomat? I said, I don't know. My usual tactic is, hey, I think that this is a way we both can help each other. So let's just put our cards on the table and see if we can. And she's like, no, that would work. That would work in a lot of situations. So here's Ranveer just being, gosh, being nice to people and hey, how can we help each other? And maybe we can do this. And oh, okay. Yeah. So they're going to start a religion based on you, buddy. And Xander, who gets yours for the evening?
Yeah, Ranveer.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right. So Mark XP Ranveer. I'm torn on this one, honestly. Um, and it would be for two very, very different reasons. I'm going to have to go with my first response, which is to give my GM Gold Star to Luther. Um, I will be completely and totally honest with you, my friend. When you described this character the first time, I'm like, please let him not be a Batman. Please let him not be a Batman. Often brooding and burning things and blowing stuff up. It doesn't care what anybody else thinks. Please, 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 no. Again, I think Luther's got some hidden depths that we haven't seen. We have not seen the depths of Luther's soul yet, and the fact that you've got a cute little dog. I need you to find a representative picture of said dog between now and next session. So that'll be on you. So go ahead and mark 1 XP for that. I will tell you, Albrecht, you were my second choice, just because you're sticking to your guns as well. I've made some notes on that. Actually, I'm going to give you that too, Albrecht. Mark, write down, hold one for you get to have a freebie +1 forward to any roll that you want, and you can hold on to that as long as you want until you use it. So not a gold star, but definitely a silver star. And huzzah! Everybody keep playing your characters the way that you've been playing them. I'm fascinated, and I'm a big fan. All right, so we'll see you next time, folks. Be on the lookout for the new hip and groovy No Theoretical Bias Discord server, soon to be advertised. Check out our ongoing 30-day rolling schedule so you know who and when and where and why. Come and watch our Doty Warriors burn stuff and blow things up. All right, only on Saturdays at the Phoenix International Raceway. Sorry, I get into old habits. So yeah, come on down, folks. And thanks again for watching. We deeply appreciate you. When I was in theater at Arizona State University, we determined you only need two things for a play. You need an actor and you need an audience. Two people. That's all it takes. So thank you so much for doing your part and being the audience for this. We appreciate you. We couldn't do it without you. All right. And with a big thank you again from all the No Theoretical Bias crew.